Nature. What is nature? Do we even know what nature is? Is it the land that we walk on? The water that flows around us? Or the wondrous creatures that lurk within? If not, let's go on an adventure together. Our adventure began at a beautiful place, Baker's Narrows Lodge, which is located in northern Manitoba, where today the youth are going to do the favorite pastime for many, and that pastime was fishing. In the north, we fish a lot, but today we are learning how to properly catch, clean, and fillet a fish. First, they are caught. Then, they are ready to transport back to the camp. Where they have been washed and cleaned by hand. Next, we are to cut and trim any excess material that is not needed for the filleting of the fish. The only material needed, necessarily, is the meat, as it will be used for the food. Any excess material, such as bone, an organ, or even the head, will not be used, but will not go to waste as it will go to other stuff later on. After the fish has been properly prepared, it is then fried and served for the supper to come. The place of staying was Baker's Narrows Lodge, which has a rich history of both hunting, fishing, and of course, adventure. Our new subject to come was making rabbit snares.
Short like this if you want, or you can make them longer. The important thing to pay attention to when you're making a snare, you don't want to make them too short. So if that's your snare like this, you got to think of what you're going to anchor it to. So some people will anchor them to just any tree that's around. The reason why I don't do that is because a lot of times the trails change.
Watch them as each and every one of them make a snare. Each and every one of them will make 2 snares each, and a chance to double their efforts. After, we go on a nice walk. Setting our snares one by one. Not too close and not too far. While we were out here, I managed to observe many wondrous things, such as this woodpecker. While our walk in the woods, we encountered some sap. This sap is very special as it can close wounds and as well as take infection out. and other harmful bacteria that may get into a cut.
Well, I was here last year, so it's good.
You must have did something.
To conclude our day, we are going to be skinning a lynx. We carefully remove the trap. Then we cut very carefully into the fur so it won't damage it. We cut into the tendons to prepare it for skinning. Next, we pull away from meat and hide. And very carefully, as a delicate operation begins, we pull and pull, carefully one at a time, until eventually you are almost done. And you are met with the final product. Here we have the whole hide, ready for whatever its purpose may be. After the busy day, we settled down to a nice fire and told stories and had fun. But today was just the beginning. The next morning, we're already busy defeathering a lot of geese. We had 2 to work with. We tried not to damage the feathers as they would be used later. We grabbed wood, a special type of wood. It would act as a flavor to the cooking. The geese were then scalded and burned until we were able to chip away any excess remains. Cut open the goose, and then gut them of their gizzards and innards. Then, one of them, the smallest of them, is then chopped up, and the remains will be used for the soup, including the heart and neck. The food was all made by hand and from wild meats that were captured by us. From the fish and the goose, all was delicious in the end. We came back. After, we went on a brief walk, settled down, and waited.
How was your experience here?
It was a pretty good time. Enjoyed all the teachings here.
It was an awesome experience.
It's been a great trip. We've learned lots. We skinned the lynx. We learned about some medicines. We had a lot of fun. It's been a good trip.
We are now to learn the spiritual part of our journey. We are learning about the 4 ways and what they all mean. Each of us sat and listened to the wise words Miss O'Nebigan had to say, as she presented us traditional tobacco, which is only to be used in ceremony and nothing more. Also to add, traditional tobacco may also be used in not just hunting, but also in honoring the fallen. She teaches us each and every one of the teachings and what they all mean on the wheel. From courage to truth to love and respect. And the cycle of life. Birth to youth to adult and elder. We thank her for her wise words she had brought to us that day. And to conclude our adventure, following that morning, we started making shelters. Now, this was our last thing to do for our day. We only used dead materials as to conserve our forest. Very carefully, we laid them one by one in order to make lean-tos, a leaning structure to keep us warm from the wind.
It's really awesome to have all you guys out here. Never had this kind of stuff when I was in school. Didn't make it that far in school. A lot of my own faults, but a lot of reasons like this, there was nothing to really engage me. It's just the classroom stuff. So, yeah, really happy to have all you guys out here.
When the day was coming to a close, we were evaluated, putting down on what we knew and what we didn't, what was our favorite part, and what could change of next year. All in all, this was an experience that was life-changing and would experience again. I hope this presentation helped you in learning why it should be useful for the youth to learn about all the nature around us. Until then, forever until new dawn. See you around.